Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. My mom said to pick the very best one, and you are... Hi, hello, and welcome to the Fluffy Tail household, where there's nothing but good fuzzy vibes here. So today we're going to be starting on part 2 of the Bee and Puppycat cosplay build series. I am going to be working on Bee's dress today. Now her dress changes not drastically, but little bits here and there change throughout the pilot to the YouTube series to the Netflix series. But even in fan art, there are like little changes here and there. And this is fan art by the creators. I like all of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just mesh everything together and take little pieces from fan art, little pieces from the pilot, little pieces from YouTube, little pieces from Netflix, and just have one dress with all these elements. So I do have a bunch of different colored blue fabrics laid out here, and I have narrowed it down. This one is the closest color to what I can find, but sadly I only have a yard of it, so it will not work. This one has a bit more yardage, but it's just too dark and not really what I want for her dress, so this one is also out. These two are the ones I landed on. Now, this one is really cool because it's got like this slick oil shine to it. It does come off a bit more purple than blue, but I figured if I can have it as a lining for the skirt, because I am gonna make the skirt very ruffly with horsehair braid. I think it'll show from underneath, kind of like a little peekaboo, and it'll look really cool. So I'm gonna keep this one. So I am gonna go with this one. I do have the most of this one, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's green. It's a seafoam color. It is between the blue and green spectrum. I have seen fan art and cosplays with this color more than the blue colors. I really like this material too that I have with it because it is like a bed sheet material. And in these cosplay builds, I always use what I have. I don't just go out and buy stuff if I don't have it. If I have it, and even if the color is off, I'm still gonna use it. So this is gonna be our main material. As mentioned prior, I am gonna use horsehair braid. Now this is for like the bottom hems of skirts, and what it does is when you sew it on, it will like ruffle up, so it'll create that wave effect, which is what I want, because in the show it looks like she's like floating through space and her skirt is just like defying gravity. So that's what I want to do. These materials. You do not need these materials. This is not a necessity. This is something I picked. It is very optional. If you are ever to make this dress, you can just simply make it and, you know, go about your day. I want to add a little bit of pizzazz to the dress. So I'm going to use this iron-on vinyl, which is a sister brand. I'm not sponsored. I just really like the sister brand. I want to use it to make her exoskeleton. Now, in the show, there is a scene where her exoskeleton pops up and you can see it. And I would love to make that out of this and then use this glow-in-the-dark puffy paint to outline the vinyl and make it look like it's all lit up, like you can see it through the dress. I think it would just be cool. I don't know if this idea is gonna work at all. It may not. I may scrap it. But I just think it'd be fun. Now, I don't know if I have enough of this stuff. I may have to get another bottle, which I don't want to do, but if I have to, I have to, and at least it would be a smaller expense than getting entirely new fabric or like new something for this cosplay. With all that being said, let's actually get started on this project. And for that, I'm gonna pull out a trusty pattern that I've used for almost every single project on this channel. Simplicity pattern 9006. I call this the Wednesday Addams pattern. I use this pattern almost for everything. I feel like it's a cop-out when I use this pattern because I do use it a lot, but it's just such a versatile pattern. It's so easy to use. I recommend if you're gonna make like any dress base, get this pattern. Like, and again, I'm not sponsored by Simplicity. I just really like this pattern. But anyway, I'm gonna pull out my pieces and start cutting out the fabric. A bit of a crossroads here. This is the problem with working with recycled fabric or like I said, this was bed sheets. It's with curtains too. There's only a certain amount of fabric. I do not have any more of this fabric. I scrounged through all my bins. I have no more, and I've cut out almost every single piece except for like one sleeve piece, and I absolutely need this sleeve piece. So I'm going to rethink this. I found another fabric at the bottom of my bin, which is this one. I really like this color. Actually, I like this color a little bit more than the bedsheet color. But what is going to happen is I'm going to take the bedsheet materials that I cut out. I'm going to put it in my scrap bin. Use it as scraps because I already cut it all up. I'm going to wash up this fabric and use this as the fashion layer instead. I did cut out the two green pieces out of this cotton, which is fine because those can be used for the lining still. I can still use my purple one that I showed off earlier for the lining of the skirt. But as far as the fashion layer is concerned, it's not going to be this fabric. It's going to be this one now. I lied. Plan C. I am going to be using this curtain fabric. Now I just said that the problem with any recycled fabric, you may not have enough. I do have 3 panels of this. This should be more than enough and then some. The other fabric, it just wasn't enough, like for the sleeves and everything, and I'm like, ugh. I'm trying so hard with this because I don't want to go out and buy fabric when I have fabric right here. I have used this before. It's really flimsy, but I am pairing it with cottons that have a little bit more structure, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I have ironed on the vinyl on this before and it went on just fine. So I am going to use this. Again, there's more than enough. There should be more than enough. If there isn't, and somehow I miscalculated, which is possible, I'm gonna go out and get fabric, but I'm gonna try this last Hail Mary before I do that. That almost didn't work, but I was able to scrounge every bit. I know it looks like still a lot. I had to cut around some pieces because there were snags. I'll show you what I mean. So this is what I'm talking about by snags. They look like this. These curtains are really old. They're really fragile. I have washed them prior, and that's kind of where the snags came from. But I made sure, at least if I did cut these out, which I did cut some of them out. Unfortunately, I could not get around all of them. At least they're on the back of the garment where nobody will see them. But I'm glad that I had enough and I can put this in my scraps. Okay, I've decided how I want to actually go about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the double layers together. Right now I am going to do the darts, make sure it's held into place, and then I am going to serge all around the fabric. The reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said before, this is curtain fabric. It's kind of delicate. If I just sew these pieces together and then sew the skirt, what is going to happen is the skirt's going to weigh it down and then this is going to start to rip. I need to sew it with the cotton so it has that strength, that structural layer. That's how I'm going to do this. I think that's it, to be honest. It took me a bit to figure out exactly what I was going to do because if I rip this fabric, that is it. I don't have anything else and I don't want to rip this fabric. But anyway, I'm going to get started. So I'm at this stage. I was testing out the zipper. I think I may have cut these pieces too short, but again, I didn't have a lot to work with. Or I've gained weight and I don't want to admit it to myself. I'm pretty sure it's the latter. But even if the zipper does show, it doesn't matter. It's in the back. The wig hair is going to go over it. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Right now I am going to work on the skirt piece because I need to get those two pieces together. I'm not going to sew them all the way though because I still want to put the horsehair braid in. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. This project is turning out to be harder than I thought. I am going to lay out the horsehair braid. So the horsehair braid is going to go on the inside of this garment. These two pieces are going to be sandwiched together. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I do have to do the skirt and attach it to the top before I even start on the vinyl, because the vinyl pattern goes all the way from the blouse to the skirt. So yeah, that's what I'm going to get started on. Reality of the situation. I hate the way this dress is turning out. I'm trying so hard to be positive about it, and I absolutely hate it. It looks terrible. The curtain fabric is just heavy and then not heavy at the same time, so it's not draping right. I just hate every bit of it. So I am gonna go out and get new fabric. I know I really did not want to do that, but at this point, I can't save this project. I've already gotten too far into it, and no matter what I do, it's not going to help. I can't cut away anything because it's already tight as it is because I cut away too much the first time. So yeah, I'm going to try and save this project by getting different fabric. Phew, back at square one. So I did manage to get the fashion layer and the lining layer done for this dress in like a matter of days just to catch up. But now we are back from where we started. I am going to start drawing out what I want on the front. Okay, this is the best picture I can find. So I know it shows her arms and stuff and like the whole front piece. I think I'm just gonna focus from the heart down to like the ribbon parts. I don't know if I will have enough vinyl for these little pieces up here. I might, if I don't, it's just going to be this front piece. And I did change my selection of vinyl since the color of this fabric is a little bit lighter blue and not so seafoam green. I have this really pretty sparkly blue vinyl that I used for a project some time ago, and I still have a lot of it. Enough, I think, for the front portion of her dress, at least. I might be able to get other portions out of it, but I think I'm just going to be able to get the front. Anyway, I am going to start drawing now the pattern on paper first before I cut out of my vinyl and start ironing. A little hard to see, but I did draw everything out in blue pen. I always try to match the pen color with whatever vinyl I'm cutting out. The pen won't show up, it'll be fine. I've done this before on fabric and it never shows up. It's just to draw out the design. So it is all together, the design, and yes, I only had enough for the front piece. But I'm going to cut this all out, and then the little details I will put on with the puffy paint once this is cut out and ironed onto the fabric. It turned out really well. Like, the pattern looks really cute. Too bad the puffy paint doesn't glow anymore. I thought it would, but this is kind of Joanne's old puffy paint, so I'm gonna let it slide about not glowing. But it looks so good. So I'm gonna get the rest of this sewn up. I'm gonna get the lining on it. I'm gonna measure the neckline because on this pattern, the neckline is just a little snug, and it's snug on my other cosplay too. And she has a bit more of a elongated neckline. Like, you can see a lot of skin right here, so I am going to do that. I'm going to cut it down, and then I'm going to start piecing it together and finishing this up before I get to the sleeves. Doubts, but trying it on with the wig, it brings the whole look together. And here's a closer look at the dress. Like, I am so thrilled with it. I think the sleeves came out really cute, and the design came out cute. I wish I probably would have used white puffy paint instead of blue puffy paint because it really is hard to tell. But I know fans of the show will know what it is. Thank you guys so much for joining me this time. I know this one was a little bit hectic. Sometimes this does happen in cosplay though. Materials that you have just sometimes doesn't work. I try to reduce and recycle as much as possible before I even go out and purchase something. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where nothing was working and this was the only other solution and it worked. But anyway, thank you guys so much again for joining me, and join me in the next one to finish off this build series. Bye!